basically, Lassis was like, no, on Twitter, Lassis was like, okay, I stand with you guys in solidarity with Zimbabweans. And then some Zimbabweans were like, we are Christians. We don't mess around with gays. Stay in your lane. Basically, that's what they said. So now, the question is from especially queer people. They were like,
and then
Zimbabweans say,
because
because we are gay, we want to stand with them, yet they're throwing our support in our face. So do we continue supporting them even though they're anti-gay and homophobic, or do we continue to support them because it's bigger than just a homophobic situation? We'll come to homophobia later. Let's discuss this one. Let's help them here first. And then most people are like, it's their problem now. I think they are Christians, but they will see themselves. So
okay, you know what? Let me address that. You know what? It's just that I'm not really well versed on politics and stuff like that. So, but I'm just gonna speak in the most simplest form, the way I understand or the way I feel about it. You know, the Lasizwe incident again, that chaos was very necessary, because then it helped to spark a very important conversation. Number one, we need to be very honest with ourselves. Zimbabweans are homophobic. Let's just start there, you know, and start a conversation from there. And then when it comes to struggles, for me personally, as a Black Zimbabwean man, I feel like, and as an African, I feel like when it comes to struggles, there are struggles that have to do with men. They are most important. So when it comes to racism, men are very vocal about it. You know, even women are vocal about it as well, Black people. Then let's come to women, maybe, you know, then queer people, Runa, for now, wait. We'll deal with you later on. We are still busy with more important things. We are trying to set the country free. The funny thing that I figured out from some of the people who've been making so much noise on my Twitter, as Zimbabwean queer UF, I didn't know. I actually didn't know, you know, so many queer voices, you know, Zimbabwean queer voices, you know, in their late 20s, you know, in the early 30s, making so much noise and saying, you know what, guys, at the end of the day, Zimbabwe is for Zimbabweans, regardless of your race, your sexual orientation, and stuff like that. You know, Zimbabwe is for Zimbabweans. So for me, it's encouraging because that chaos helped me to see that, you know, look to the brighter side of things. You know, we actually have people who are coming out, and people actually did come to reprimand those guys who were going on to us and saying, you know what, we need the solidarity, we need the help and stuff like that. Now, I can't really downplay that and say not all Zimbabweans, because you know what, it's going to downplay the whole problem or the whole situation that we have with Zimbabweans are homophobic. But if you look at those three profiles, because I saw three profiles, I'm not sure if there were more, but if you look at those three profiles, firstly, they were faceless profiles. And then secondly, those Twitter accounts had been opened recently. So I'm not going to explain the homophobia away. It's a problem that's there. We still need to confront it. But again, remember, they are state-sponsored security agents in Zimbabwe. It's off the book.
Definitely.
It's off the book. You know, we can't even prove it, but we know it happens because they are responsible for the abducting, the abductions, the torturings, the killings, the rapings, and, you know, just spying on people in general. So we live amongst them. We tweet amongst them. So the only time that you can bring all Zimbabweans together, I mean, literally, we could be supporting different political parties. I could hate you as my neighbor, literally. But the moment that you're going to bring Zimbabweans closer together has to be homophobia. Say something about gays, you will see Zimbabweans, all of us coming together, regardless of how much we hate each other. It's easier for you to think that there are no gays in Zimbabwe because everyone is in the closet. And their activism...
Because they're scared as well.
They are scared. Honestly, I'm not going to come out and lose my mother and lose my parents over things that I can easily hide. Because then you coming out, you now need to explain it's real. People get chased away from home. We have so many of our friends who ended up leaving Zimbabwe under very dubious circumstances to come and seek refuge in South Africa. You understand? Because it's that deep. It's that real. you stand to lose a lot by coming out. So rather you'll stay in the closet, and actually you'll stay in the closet and be homophobic on top of that, because you want to dissuade the attention from. You don't want people to then say, Kandi, when how a girlfriend, you are 30, Dinsang. We've never seen you bringing a girl. You're always chilling with boys of a questionable character in courts, blah blah blah. So it's a conversation we need to have. But when I went to social media, I was encouraged, man, by what I saw people, coming out and, talking about it and say, you know what, guys, if we're going to build a Zimbabwe or imagine a Zimbabwe that we want to imagine right now, every voice counts. Every voice matters.
Definitely.
Christian voices, queer voices, black voices, young voices, old voices. We need the solidarity. We need to move, and we need to treat other Zimbabweans with respect. So in a nutshell, that's where we are. Whatever the apartheid government did to us in Zimbabwe, we are doing it 10 times worse to our own people. It's even worse because now it's despicable, because it's now black on black violence.
Exactly.
And why is it happening? Because people are speaking the truth. People are criticizing bad leadership. And people are saying, you know what, we deserve better, because you guys, it's not what you went to the war to fight for, to get the country back. But guess what? Here we are today. You're lining your pockets and you're being selfish and you're thinking about yourselves. So for me, it's an issue now. You know what? It's either we are Christians and we stick to the values and the norms of Christianity, or we are not. Choose a side. When you choose a side, religiously stick to it, unapologetically stick to it. You understand? But you know what? I think, as we have said, when your podcast gains traction and gains mileage, we might want to have a conversation where we sit down and, have a conversation. Because sometimes, you know what? It's very easy to assume when we don't have conversations.
Exactly.
But when we sit and have these conversations, I think I'm able to understand you from your perspective. Where are you coming from? Where are you going? Then you are able to understand me as well. We might not agree that day, but we have set precedents to say, you know what, where are you coming from? Where are you going? Where am I coming from? Where am I going? Is there intersectionality? Is there common ground? Remind me of Crocodile, actually,
Those are the days, those conversations.
The way we used to just sit outside for 2 hours and just talk about politics. You know what? The way we were so aware of what was happening around us. I think for me, it's a world that I'm envisioning for our youth or for our generation. Be aware what's happening around you. What's happening in South Africa, what's happening globally. Because for me, it doesn't make sense for me to shout and say Black Lives Matter in America. And yet there is femicide. I'm unbothered. And yet I'm unbothered.
And then the other thing is that now that you mention, these are the topics is the misconception that some people have, when queer people come together, all they talk about is their girlfriends, their boyfriends, sex life, trash each other. Whereas it seems as if we can't have real discussions and real conversations. That is why I wanted us to have this type of conversation, whereas it's even a relaxed situation, in a relaxed environment where it shows those people, and it's the reason why I even started this whole podcast thing, was to show people we are not just one dimensional of people. Now we have our thoughts, ideas, and discussions and conversations that bother us, besides being just South African, but also being in a community. We have issues. Now we can see. We know we have a long way as LGBT, whereas we are accepted into society. Now also we are aware as South Africans, beyond just our sexuality,
what is happening around us,
things that are happening around us.
I really feel like queer people should not always explain themselves. Because now people will be like, actually, and like, you are very smart for a queer person. I'm like, what do you mean? Huh? I understand. Or you're actually successful for a queer person. I'm like, where? where did you you know what, it's the whole explaining for me, and I'm just like, ugh, you understand. So for me, these conversations need to happen. We are aware what's happening around us, but also again, it's your reality. So you are always going to pinpoint it. You are always going to mention it. This is my reality, especially because growing up on the other end, receiving the other end of the stick, you always had to explain your existence. Always had to explain yourself.
Why are you like this way now? Why are you different?
And like, why are you even here? You know, you had to explain that. You understand? So, Kamo, it's you being queer. Kamo, it's you being black if you're working in a white dominated space. Kamo, it's you being a woman.
Ooh,
if you're working in a male.
Let's not even.
Yeah, there's the motive. What's topic for another day. Topic at PTSD.
Or it's the PTSD.
Or else we'll be going back to drinking flying fish every day. Yeah, my guy. Wow. You know what?
Crying on a Tuesday.
I never thought I would be a drunkard the way I was in 2018.
Braai on a Tuesday.
Wow. What was that? What was that? Tuesday, braai, chillax, nyana, you know what? And again, you know what? It's what kept us sane, because there was someone who was willing to listen to your story.
Exactly.
There was someone who was willing to relate to whatever you were going through and say, you know what? I don't know the specifics, I don't know the dynamics, but I see you, I hear you.
Definitely.
So the beautiful side of the story that they won't tell you about South Africa, it's some of these stories. Because we are used to talking about South Africa being a xenophobic nation, you know, they kill people, muggings and stuff like that. But then you don't hear these beautiful stories, you know, of what happens in the communities, familyhood. I mean, I went to Blom. We went to see your mother. I felt like I was home. We went to see Nkunu, your grandmother. I felt like I was home. It was later on when we were like, oh, okay, he's from Zim. But already, it was just like, I know, Kimo Hai. You understand?
Exactly. It's those little things, though. I think besides xenophobia and besides being painted in a black or in a negative light, South Africans are welcoming. By nature, we are welcoming.
I was having the very same conversation with a friend of mine yesterday. She's also Tswana Lena. She was like, you know what, South Africans, if they open up their doors and their hearts and once they open up, they've opened up. The problem now is, honestly, Cake, when I open up my door to you, be human about it. So don't throw a futseke back in my face. I don't want to go into the specific of the, but you know what's happening around. You know that
exactly
part of our crime statistics have to do with contributions from foreigners living in South Africa.
Exactly.
You understand? So I'm not gonna go deep about it, but then when people open their doors to you, be human about it. You know? When people help you, show that you want to be helped. You know?
Exactly.
Let's get together, man. You know, bo Dioni, bo Mang, bo Poka. Let's just, you know, get together, bo Gellings, you know, and let's have a conversation.
Because it would be quite a good setup to show Hore. Besides just having queer friends, our straight friends are also there for us. Honestly, like
we have a support system.
We have support systems in place, whereas it's not even a topic. Your sexual preference is not even a topic.
We talk about it here and there. When outsiders, you know, some of our friends who are outsiders come through, then but otherwise with us, you know, we hardly, bruh. Like in Klokolan, we hardly.
Guys, this was Queen Queer, another episode talking about Zim Lives Matter with my friend TT, and yeah, it was a great one. I'm probably gonna have to cut this for a long time, a lot of episodes to just kind of fit it all in. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is KP.
Awesome.